This championship weekend should set out to be a very entertaining one. We've got a South Wales derby, a Yorkshire derby, a Gary Rowett derby, the Mark Warburton derby, even a Gianfranco Zola derby. I mean, what could get any better than that? What's up everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel today. It is my score predictions for match day 18 of the championship. Obviously, if you've been keeping track of my Lexus Hall of Fame and my score predictions, you know I'm not doing too well right now. Speaking of people that did get correct scores, your comment will be on the screen if you got correct scores. Charlie Brown got 5 correct scores. Absolutely fair play to you. Sam Newbold, you got 4 correct scores. Both of you have done incredibly well this week. And this is what the Lexus Hall of Fame looks like now. I've now dropped down to 3rd. Charlie Brown has broken the 30-point mark. Jake, your first entry in the Lexus Hall of Fame puts you in 90th place. Welcome to the Lexus Hall of Fame. Obviously, yesterday, if you saw my live stream, you would have seen that FIFA 21 predicted some championship football for the first time in quite a while. It was one of my favourite streams ever. If you want to see it and you want to see me answering questions and you want to see FIFA 21 predicting the championship, please click on the link somewhere here. But if you guys like what you see, please special do give this video a like. It's tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. We're so intangibly close to 350 subscribers. I think we can achieve it by this video. If you can do that, that'd be fantastically appreciated. And to do that, please share my channel to as many YouTubers, to as many friends, and to as many championship fans as you can. Although it would really make my day. Without any further ado, let's start predicting this weekend's games. So we start off with one of the derbies, the South Wales derby, which is taking place early Saturday. Cardiff and Swansea. Both sides who are in a really good position actually in terms of the championship, but in very contrasting performances and form at the moment. Cardiff are on absolute fire with 4 wins in a row, and previously we were thinking that Neil Harris was running out of time as Cardiff boss, but fair play to him, he's managed to turn it around big style. Swansea are a side that they just guarantee results. You know, they don't lose all that often. They tend to get either a draw or a win. And I think it'll be the same thing with this game. They have been taking a load of pride in the back, really conceding very few goals this season. They've conceded the least amount of goals in the entire league so far. In terms of this game, I think this game is going to be a very, very tight derby. I think it could be cagey and it'll end as a 0-0 draw. Could be wrong in this one, but I think most of these derbies end as 0-0. In fact, the last meeting between these two sides did end as a 0-0 draw. I think history will repeat itself. FIFA 21 has predicted a Swansea 1-0 away win. Next up is Bournemouth going up against Huddersfield, a game which I do expect to be quite high scoring actually. Both of these sides have really impressed me actually in terms of their ability going forward and their attacking play. Bournemouth did draw 0-0 with Swansea in midweek, although I do think with some of the chances they had, and I think they were the better side against Swansea. I do think the conditions of the Liberty really didn't help them. I think because of the Welsh weather, you know, conditions of the pitch were really, really poor, which Bournemouth did struggle with. But I think at home at their Vitality Stadium, I think they'll definitely thrive a lot more. Huddersfield managed to get a 2-0 win in midweek against Sheffield Wednesday. A very complete performance once again, and actually a very professional performance, while Sheffield Wednesday did threaten quite a few times. But Huddersfield, I have to say, at the back have definitely improved. They're keeping clean sheets left, right and centre. 2-0 victories in a row now. Huddersfield in fantastic form, but they're playing a Bournemouth side who are in the top 3, and they have been up there in the table with their goal scoring form and the overall class and ability that they have with Danjuma, Solanke, Stanislas. All of those players really tick all the boxes for a really good and complete championship side. In terms of this game, it's going to be really, really close. I'm not too sure. I was thinking maybe a draw because Huddersfield could definitely surprise them. Not having Josh Koroma though, I actually think Huddersfield are going to fall a little bit short. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory to Bournemouth. I think Huddersfield not having Koroma is going to be a little bit of a blow, and it will take them a couple of games for Huddersfield to manage his absence. But I think eventually Mbenza and Campbell can definitely step up to that. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 0-0 draw, which I hope doesn't happen. Next up is the Gianfranco Zola derby. Birmingham going up against Watford. Both of these sides with a win in midweek. Birmingham picking up their 2nd away win in a row, unbeaten in their last 5 away games. Birmingham on the road are proving to be a very good side, beating an in-form Reading team, where Reading were unlucky that they didn't get anything from that game. But Birmingham made their chances count, and they really held their lead very, very well. Neil Everidge saved a penalty, and that was the turning point. And Birmingham did really, really well to hold the 3 points. Watford had a bit more of a comfortable evening, beating Rotherham by 2-0 at Vicarage Road. A very good performance on Watford's part. I think with this game, I do fear it could be a very boring 0-0 draw, but I think Watford might edge this one. I think with the attacking quality that they have, and they'll eventually maybe get a set piece or a penalty. I'm going to say a 1-0 away victory to Watford, but FIFA has predicted 0-0, which would have been my alternative prediction. Next up is Blackburn going up against Norwich. I'm really excited to see the outcome of this game. Blackburn, when they've been playing against the top 6, they're a little bit hit and miss. Now, recently they played against Brentford and they were ultimately dominated when they did go down to 10 men. But to be fair to them, they're getting results. And Blackburn this season, I'm really excited to see where they can progress under Tony Mowbray. Norwich right now, obviously still the leaders of the championship. They're still collecting results despite with all the injuries that they have. They've just got such a strong squad depth, which I think is what they've prepared for when they were relegated from the Premier League, was their squad depth. And it's going to really, really help them propel themselves up the championship if they can continue gaining results. This will be their toughest game of the season so far, because Blackburn at home have been really, really good. The top goal scorers in the league as well. It's going to be interesting. I mean, this could be a firecracker, or this could fall as flat as a pancake and finish as a 0-0 draw. It's got the capability to be one of those games. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Can't really edge either one of the sides. Blackburn have not beaten Norwich in their last 6 meetings, so Blackburn do notoriously struggle against this Norwich side. FIFA 21 has predicted a 2-1 away victory to Norwich. Next up is Derby versus Stoke. Now, this is the Gary Rowett derby now. So we've got Derby and Stoke. This game last year, I remember it very vividly. I think it was Wayne Rooney's home debut for Derby County, and he scores a free kick against Stoke as well. It was a 4-0 victory to Derby, and that was when Derby was starting to look a little bit threatening and looked like they would actually have a last-minute climb for the playoffs, but they did fall short in the end. And now, obviously, Wayne Rooney's going to be the manager. But since then, Derby have not lost a game since Wayne Rooney has taken charge with 3 draws and a win. However, with their draws, they definitely need to win a little bit more. They did get an away point against Brentford, actually, a 0-0 draw, a very good defensive performance on their part. Stoke managed to lose in midweek against Cardiff. They were gifted a goal from Sean Morrison putting the ball in his own net, but unfortunately Stoke just couldn't build from that, and they actually allowed Cardiff to get into the game. This game could be very, very key for Stoke if they want to try and push for top 6. In terms of Derby though, this is a huge opportunity to get them outside of the bottom 3. If Wayne Rooney can get them outside the bottom 3 already with the little time he's had in charge as manager, maybe he should take the managerial job full time. In terms of this game, it's going to be really close. I don't know who to edge here. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I really cannot edge either one of those sides. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 2-0 win for Derby. Very interesting. Next up is Luton versus Preston. Both these sides having contrasting results in midweek. Luton had a 0-0 draw with Coventry. A very dull game overall. So dull, I'll leave it there. Preston managed to get a 3-0 home victory against Middlesbrough. Now, Middlesbrough have been doing very poor away from home, 3 away defeats in a row. But Preston, finally, they've got their second home win. They've got a better home record than Manchester United now, so they can definitely take some pride into that. But with this game, it's really, really tight. I really do not know who to edge. I remember this game last year being the first game from lockdown, and it was 1-1. A very, very close game with Sinclair getting the lead, and then McManaman managed to get an equaliser in the final few minutes of the game. Preston would not want to concede a late goal like they did last time they played against this side. This game, I think with the strong away record from Preston, maybe they can start having a good run of form around about now. You just don't know with Preston. They've proven to be a very inconsistent side. They can easily lose this game. I'm going to say a 2-1 away victory to Preston. I have faith that I think they can continue their strong run of form. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 1-0 away victory to Preston. Next up is Middlesbrough going up against Millwall. 2 sides, both not in fantastic form right now. Middlesbrough lost 3-0 against Preston midweek. I mean, it was 0-0 at half-time, and I think they were slightly the better side in the first half. The fact they managed to concede 3 goals the way they did, I mean, defensively, Neil Warnock will have his head in his hands for how poor they were. It was really, really poor. And the thing is, they could have conceded more. Preston were unlucky. They only scored 3 in that game. Millwall managed to get a draw against Queen's Park Rangers. It was 1-1, fair play to them. They did fall behind, but they did equalise pretty quickly afterwards. But Millwall right now, I just don't know where they're going to get their goals from. And I was expecting Millwall to be a little bit stronger at the back. And we saw it with Derby. Derby opened them up like that very, very easily. Only a couple of passes. Gary Rowett needs to make sure that they still have their defensive solidarity, because goal scoring wise. They don't have a lot of options up top is what I would say. With this game, I do think Middlesbrough at home are much better. I think Neil Warnock has naturally got Middlesbrough to play a lot better at home. And I think against this Millwall side, I think they're just going to go through a little bit of a torrid run of form and then they'll eventually pick it up later on. I'm going to say a 3-1 home victory to Middlesbrough. FIFA 21's disagreed with me and gone with a 1-0 away victory to Millwall. Very interesting, that's the case. Next up, Nottingham Forest going up against Brentford. This is the Mark Warburton derby. I tell you what, I mean, I'm knowing these derbies left, right and centre now. But I'm really not too sure what to go for with this game. Chris Hughton right now seems to be struggling a little bit as Nottingham Forest manager. I think he's only picked up 2 wins in his first 10 games in charge. It's not great on his part. And Nottingham Forest right now in a very precarious position. If they get a bad result this weekend, they can easily fall into the bottom 3 with Wycombe and Derby very, very close behind them. They play a Brentford side, which I think they were a little bit disappointed to be held out with a 0-0 draw against Derby as well. With the amount of opportunities that they did manage to have, there was some chances that they should be tucking away and Brentford would be kicking themselves how they didn't finish them. With this game, I think Brentford will return to their best. I think with Chris Hughton right now with Nottingham Forest, I don't actually think it's the manager, I actually think it's the squad. I think it's just disjointed. It just doesn't have a clear identity, and unless Chris Hughton works with something with them in the past couple of weeks, I just can't see anything else but Nottingham Forest falling apart. Despite having a pretty good performance against Norwich in midweek, I do think they'll still fall apart. I'm going to say a 2-0 away victory to Brentford. FIFA 21 has predicted 0-0 with this game. Next up is Queen's Park Rangers going up against Reading. Both of these sides dropping points in midweek. Queen's Park Rangers did go 1-0 up against Millwall, but they couldn't hold their lead. And how many times now have we seen Queen's Park Rangers and Mark Warburton dropping points from winning positions? There's been way too many occasions where Queen's Park Rangers have been dropping points from winning positions, and right now it's put Queen's Park Rangers and Millwall in a pretty mediocre part of the table. They both need to collect some points as soon as they can if they want to have a somewhat decent season. In terms of this game, I don't see anything between the sides. I was thinking 0-0, but I actually think it will be a 1-1 draw. FIFA 21 is actually going to agree with me with this one and also predict 1-1. Next up is Rotherham going up against Bristol City. Different results in midweek. Rotherham losing pretty convincingly against Watford. Couldn't really get into Watford's level. In terms of Bristol City though, a fantastic win in midweek, beating Blackburn by 1-0. They withered the storm, but they defended so well against this Blackburn side, a side that scores plenty of goals, and Bristol City managed to clear their lines, not allow Blackburn to score, and scored a winning goal with Famara Jeju. Unbelievable performance really, and Dean Holden, I dare say, he's got a really good tactical nous. He really knows what sort of tactic to use against majority of his season. I mean, yes, Bristol City have had a couple poor results, but I think that's just natural with them. And I think going into this game against Rotherham, I think it'll be the worst game for Bristol City to underestimate this Rotherham side. If they go for it and they go for goals, I think they'll win. But this could be the sort of game that Bristol City could trip up in, but I don't think it will happen. I'm going to say a 3-1 away victory to Bristol City. FIFA 21 was predicted a 2-1 home win to Rotherham, which can easily happen. Next up is Sheffield Wednesday going up against Barnsley, the Yorkshire derby. Now, this game, I'm really struggling to put my head if Sheffield Wednesday could have a chance with this one. They're still waiting to crack over 10 points. I just don't know where the goals are going to come from. A little bit similar to Millwall. They've both been really struggling to score goals, which is why Sheffield Wednesday are rock bottom of the championship right now. Tony Pulis has come in, and to be fair to him, he has fixed the back line a little bit. But despite that, they're still losing games, they're still drawing games, and they're not managing to win games. Tony Pulis is still looking for his first win as Sheffield Wednesday manager, and the longer that wait goes on, the more frustrated I think people will get. In terms of Barnsley, they did beat Wycombe in midweek by 2-1. Pretty up and down and controversial game overall. It was 2 penalties that managed to decide the game. Almost threw the game away for Barnsley with Wycombe getting a penalty, but then Barnsley got a penalty of their own and that managed to be the winning goal in the end. I think this game has the capability of being a 1-1 draw. I think Sheffield Wednesday, to be fair, I think will get a point out of this game, especially being at home at Hillsborough as well. FIFA 21 has actually predicted a 4-0 victory for Sheffield Wednesday. I'm not even joking. If you want to see it, as I said in the beginning of the video, click the link up there and you'll see the live stream in full. And the last game to predict is Wycombe going up against Coventry, a huge game in the relegation battle, and my opinion, a must-win game for Wycombe especially. Wycombe right now, they're not in a somewhat bad position. I know they're in the bottom 3, but they're not being cut away from the other 24 championship teams. But in the long run, they need to win their home games. And at home, they have been struggling to pick up points recently. They've only amassed 2 wins all season. They definitely need to win more games. They're drawing more games, but winning is what's going to ultimately save Wycombe's season. Coventry have been in fantastic form right now, not losing in their last 5 games, and because of that, they've now formed a little bit of a gap between them and the relegation pack, actually. So Coventry, fantastic form leading up to this time of the season, which is great for Mark Robins and Coventry. With this game, it's going to be really close. I can even see this game ending 0-0. But I think Coventry may edge this one. I'm going to say a 1-0 away victory. I think it will have a similar vibe to when Wycombe lost 1-0 to Rotherham very, very late on. I think it will be a very similar feeling game. FIFA 21 has predicted 0-0. But that's all my score predictions. If you want to predict this weekend's games, make sure you leave your predictions in the comments down below. And if you get a correct score, your comment will be included in the review video and you'll be in the Lexus Hall of Fame. But without any further ado, let's start predicting the Premier League fixtures as tradition on this channel. Leeds West Ham, I'd say a very entertaining 2-2 draw. I think Wolves and Aston Villa, I think Wolves will edge this derby 2-1. Newcastle West Brom, 0-0 stalemate for me. Man United Man City, Manchester derby, it's going to be close. I'm going to say 2-0 Man City. Everton Chelsea, oh, I think I'm going to regret this. 2-1 Chelsea. Southampton Sheffield United, I'm going to say 2-0 Southampton. Palace and Spurs, 1-0 Spurs maybe. Fulham and Liverpool, I'm going to say 4-1 to Liverpool. Arsenal Burnley, gosh, Arsenal just can't win at home right now. I'm going to say 1-1. Leicester Brighton, 2-1 Leicester. But that's all the predictions this weekend. If you guys like what you see, please make sure you do give this video a like, tremendously appreciated. If you haven't done, please subscribe to the channel. It would really make my day. Let's push for 350 and 400 as soon as we can. And to get my channel out there, please share my channel to as many people as you can. All of that would really make my day. But that wraps it up. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary if you're sending in this video. And as always, take care.